Okay, so today I really wanted to talk about the difference between panic, anxiety, and fear. I'm going to put that on. And it's about the value of differentiating these. So we want to know the difference between when I'm panicking, when I'm anxious, and when I'm fearful. I'm just going to whiz to talk about the connection system first. So breathe, just talking, just saying the word panic, anxiety and fear can up our anxiety. So make sure you're breathing and sighing and moving as you need to. I'm going to come back to that, but I just want to talk about the connection system because it's so tied up for us, our understanding of panic. That kind of grounding it in connection is really helpful. So the connection system is, and ignore the stuff at the bottom, that doesn't apply anymore, is all about peer-to-peer connection, especially. I mean, it's connection when it's not about I need to care for you, I need to look after you, I need to that you're more vulnerable than I am. Connection is especially about we love being together. So so we've got these pictures. It's not just about romance. It's about we like hanging out together. We just all had our happy dance celebratory moment together, and there was something really meaningful about that. That level of connection is what the connection system is all about. So it's not so much about I need to look after you, it's I like being with you. So we've got these sorts of pictures just to help stimulate our connection neurons. So we can think of some of the words that are connected with connection, like being appreciative and responsive and respectful and reciprocal, that it goes two ways. And then, of course, as we understand connection, we can also understand what happens when we lose connections. So when we lose connections, we have our connection system responding in a different way. So it gets activated to enable and encourage repair. So if we're disconnected and we're aware of our disconnection, we then get activated to want to create reunion or to get back together again, to find our connections again. And the image that I encourage people to think about when understanding what the panic system looks like is thinking about a little bird who might be separated from mother hen. That how would that little bird respond in order to reunite with mother hen? So I'm going to put that question to you and see if anyone's got an answer for, oh, I can't see the chat, it doesn't help. I seem to only see the chat if I stop the share, which is a bit annoying. So I will stop the share so I can see the chat. So what do you think a very healthy response if we are separated from who we need to be connected with to maintain our well-being? What's the response of the chick going to be? Has anyone got an idea that they want to share? Would it be to go quiet? So it would be terrifying, it would feel desperate. The chick would make lots of noise. Thank you, absolutely. So we've got this what it would feel like. It would feel really scary, really desperate, because this is my lifeline. And then the response of the chick would be to make a lot of noise, which is a brilliant response. Clever chick. What's going to get the mother hen knowing where the chick is and that it's lost? Nothing is going to work better than a lot of cheeping. So it's a really useful thing to remember that connects us to why panic is so valuable to us. Might be deeply unpleasant, might feel awful, and yet incredibly helpful, because it gets us feeling a lot, and it's hard to hide that when we're panicking. So so the chick will make a lot of noise, and this side is about panic. So panic is all about, has it happened? I've lost mum, but has she gone? So I'm going to make lots of noise. I'll be racing around, quick responses. My thoughts will be really quick while I'm trying to find answers. And I'll do whatever it takes to get attached again. And I'll hang on to the hope and the belief that this is going to be okay. You can see this other side. This is all about love, but this other side is about what happens when we realise that we have lost, that we then go to lost and sad and crying, and more of a kind of a pausing place rather than a frantic place. So these are very different responses, but they're all part of the same system. I hope all of that makes sense, but what it helps us understand is how to differentiate panic, anxiety and fear. So anxiety and fear are over this side because they're a different system altogether from panic. So imagine the chick, if they were responding as if they were scared, even though it's terrifying to be lost. If they responded with a fear system, what would they do instead of making a lot of noise? So if they responded as if there was a threat around, something that was going to harm them, what would we do if our fear system was activated? Hide. Brilliant. So we'd go freeze, we'd stay small, we'd hide. Would we be noisy? Freeze, absolutely. Probably not noisy either. Quiet. Quiet, yeah. So that whole idea about being noisy and loud, breathing loudly, tells our fear system we're not in danger. So because our fear system tells us to stay small and quiet and hide, or run if we're in danger. So get out of there. Thank you. So if we just start to differentiate panic from our fear system. Panic is about frantically looking for answers and using our, maybe getting noisy, getting attention, getting, being activated in a very particular way to respond to this idea that something will be lost and I need to protect and prevent loss. That's something I want, something I need, something's important to me, someone that I love is going to be lost to me and I need to prevent that. Very different to, there's an external threat which I need to protect myself from, and then anxiety, which is about there's some internal feelings that make me feel like I'm in danger. So we'll go into that in a little bit. We're just going to hold first panic versus fear, okay? So panic is getting us busy to repair or seek reunion. So we get busy finding answers so that we can resolve the problem. Whereas the fear system is busy trying to help us get out of there. We're trying to get away from something. So I'm hoping that differentiation, these two systems starts making sense. Now, unfortunately, they can come together. So it's not pretending that it's not complex, but it's really useful to start differentiating. So I'm panicking because there's this loss that might occur and I'm scared about this possible danger that's around. And I've started to kind of just connect the dots that these feelings are about this loss and these feelings are about this danger. Yeah. So we're trying to separate them in that way. Then the difference between anxiety and fear is that our fear system is best thought of as about external danger, an actual threat that's happening in the moment, like our current pandemic, an actual threat. Anxiety is our body responding as if that external threat is happening right now. Now, it's problematic at the moment because we've got more reason to be scared than we have for a very long time. That's kind of around a lot. But just as we did right at the beginning of the session, what we were doing there, we were trying to differentiate our anxiety from our fear. So when we did breathe, sigh, move, we really held on to that. Yes, our body is responding right now as if there's more danger around than there really is in this moment. Yeah. So we're trying to differentiate that, and that's a really valuable way of doing it. This actual, if we can calm ourselves down in the middle of the pandemic, it helps us to separate what's anxiety, our body responding in a kind of like it's keeping on responding even when the threat has kind of gone as we've shut the door, and then what's remaining as what's our fear. Now, at the moment, there's kind of this underlying level of fear that's kind of hanging around pretty permanently for all of us, but we still need to differentiate from anxiety to fear. It's a lot to take in, but we're just going to have a moment there just to process and answer any questions. So we've got panic, which is trying to help us to deal with our losses and the things that we're connected to that really matter to us, that we don't want to lose. And then we've got fear, which is about this external threat, and anxiety, which is what we kind of hold on to within ourselves, even as the external threat may have subsided. And anxiety especially can carry on being around a lot if we've had chronic, repetitive struggles with dangers in our world, because our body says, well, I'm just going to assume that the world is dangerous. It's safer to do that than not to. I'm just going to stop the share there because I've just talked a lot and shared a lot of information, and I just want to help to answer any questions and process any of this and just see where it is for you. And I'm mindful that you might not want to ask questions here. So and thank you very much for starting the ball rolling. So is anxiety perhaps worrying about things that haven't happened yet? That's a great response. And actually we can get a mix of kind of anxiety and a bit of like anticipatory panic in there as well. So worrying about things that haven't happened yet is a really good indication of anxiety. So it stirs up feelings inside of us about what might happen, and we get the same responses as if the actual threat is occurring in the present moment. So being able to do, and it's not about judging, we all worry, it's a really natural thing to do, but we don't, if we spend a lot of time worrying and in this time of uncertainty, there's a lot to worry about. We don't know what's going to occur, but you can see how worrying could not serve us. It could really interrupt what's actually happening in the present moment, because we keep getting these intrusions of worry, and being able to put things a bit more in their place. Okay, so I don't know, I'll put that to one side and see if I can be a bit more present and regulate my anxiety, come back into the river, because that one can really put us over into overwhelm. And then kind of hang out here in this present moment to see what's happening right now. And normally there's enough going on in our present moment to deal with without getting too caught in the future-oriented stuff. And a level of anxiety. Can a level of anxiety be healthy? So I think it's a really interesting question. It can feel quite natural to have anxiety responses, but I would really talk about which ones are being experienced. So the ones that are on the river, on the bank of the river, like the overwhelm ones, are really tough. They put us in such a difficult position, hard to remember things, hard to integrate things. So if we possibly could, would want to work to bring those anxiety responses down into the rarely kind of category. They happen rarely, rather than kind of they're present and hanging around a lot. So, for instance, I used to struggle much more with kind of going off into a place of overwhelm and getting stuck there. Like, I've had a fair amount of therapy in my time, and finding it hard to come down. Now I just have like a little blip and then come back down. So that, I think that's healthy. That kind of tells me where the edge is, but I don't really want to hang out on the bank of a river unnecessarily. So that kind of being in a place where I'm pushing my learning edge, I'm kind of ready for action, I'm feeling a bit, kind of geared up. There's a bit of tension. All of that is we're going to live a much richer life if we lean into that sort of anxiety, kind of almost on purpose, if you like. So I hope that answers that. And of course, it's completely normal for us to blip over into overwhelm. It's just how much of that we want to help regulate and practice so that we interrupt it, especially when it's really not serving us. So from Claire, so helpful to see how different the three are, and also how complex it is, absolutely, and how possible it is to feel like they're all the same thing. Okay, brilliant. I'm pleased that was helpful, Jane. Yes, they can merge. So we can end up feeling this pretty tough combination of fear, anxiety, and panic, all kind of intertwined. Had someone describe their experience of kind of starting to get the emotional systems and get how they work and the value they bring as we differentiate and understand them into our lives. So they described it from going from a muddy bog to like a rainbow of different colours. And that's what we're trying to help with. So this combination of panic and anxiety and fear can feel like a interwoven, complex bog of feelings, which we can't get out of. But we want to be able to, if we possibly can, regulate, pay attention, and notice, okay, that's panic. That part, that, oh God, I've got to do something, shit, is panic. Sorry, I'm swearing a bit today. That's my panic, and I can hardly sit still, and I'm pacing, and that's my panic about this thing that I don't want to lose. This thing that means the world to me. That's my panic about that. And knowing that bit is the panic is really valuable. Suddenly that's now a colour rather than a part of the bog. And then this is me being anxious as if some danger is happening right now and there's a threat. How interesting. That's my anxiety. Can I regulate that so I can meet what's underneath? And then this bit is my fear. This is an actual threat that's happening right now, and what do I need to do right now to make that better? So those are those three. There's always some more interesting stuff going on as well. So under this panic, am I meeting not only what I'm connected to, but what I really care about, what my passion is? There's going to be other feelings under there, grief about things I've lost in the past. So you can see that by understanding them, it opens the door to understanding what's going on underneath, the kind of depths of our of who we are and what we're made up of and what really matters to us. So this is part of the encouragement to lean into these kind of messy places so that we can shine a bit of a light on them and bear some of the mixed feelings that come with them, and then meet ourselves more in a more real, authentic way. I hope that's a little bit helpful. It's a lot to share and a lot to I can try and make sense of. Are there any other questions about the separating these, very much helpful. I'm delighted. Yeah, I'm glad it's clear enough. I think throughout we need to be kind to ourselves, as this is a tough journey. Would anyone else agree with that fabulous statement? Kind of be kind and take it easy. Enthusiastic, agreed. Yes, yeah. And this moment of lovely, yes. So right now, just allowing it to sink in, kind of land, kind of be here, present in our body, and we don't have to get it here fully. Trust it will kind of be percolated and land on different levels.